Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So here we have a family speaking out about their experience living in California and having a child who somehow got caught up in the system after she started identifying as transgender. And now this family have lost custody of their teenage daughter. State of California thinks that they can just take your child. This happened to a family who's speaking out anonymously via Redux, telling their story. On the 3rd of June 2024, a family received a knock at the door at their ranch in Redding, California. The mother, who we will call Ellie, was working on her artwork, didn't notice the knocking at first. But the knocking became more and more persistent. Her son called out to her, telling her to answer the door. After Ellie opened the door, there was a woman standing there who introduced herself as being from Shasta County's Department of Health and Human Services. She said a claim of child emotional abuse had been filed against the family. She had no paperwork, no badge, no warrant, no court filings, but she was there to take their daughter away. She did end up leaving after the father intervened and told her essentially to get lost, but she ended up coming back with multiple police officers. The family are originally from Ukraine and they moved to America in 2007. Growing up, the teenage daughter, who we shall call Maya, began experiencing mental health issues such as anxiety, anger issues, attention difficulties, and emotional deregulation. Her mental health concerns, which once resulted in temporary placement in a psychiatric facility, were made worse by the persistent bullying she experienced at school, starting in 1st and 2nd grade. Maya claimed that the bullying wasn't just from the students, it was also from the teachers, who would dismiss her concerns and complaints. The family ended up moving several times in order for Maya to start fresh at a new school. It felt like every time we tried to give her a fresh start, something else happened. Then in 2022, Maya was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, a diagnosis made over the phone. She also suffered a head injury after getting hit by a car that had backed into her while she was being dropped off at school. In her early teens at this time, Maya began looking for answers and researched heavily. She would even request specific medications, no doubt due to all the commercials that people are bombarded with when they watch TV. Around this time, she also cut her hair, asked to go by a gender-neutral name, and started dressing in a more masculine fashion. And the family tried to be as accommodating as possible. They just wanted her to be happy. We don't speak English at home, and our native tongue is very gendered language, but we even changed how we referred to her to try to keep her happy. We tried to be careful. I even used this name in public for her. While doing their best to honour her wishes, they also sought help from medical professionals, so-called medical professionals. They ended up visiting Mercy Medical Center. This was a decision they would end up regretting because it set the catalysts for more and more division within the family. Turning to the professionals for help ended up putting their daughter down a destructive path. Maya actually requested more counselling and requested to be referred to a psychiatrist. This seemed like a good idea at the time, and Ellie supported it. Maya was referred to Dr. Michelle Sager in 2023. She didn't just receive counselling, she also received different types of medications. First, she was put on lithium and then antidepressants. One day during a counselling session, Maya requested that her mother Ellie leave the room. She said she wanted to talk to the doctor about LGBT-related issues. My daughter asked Dr. Sager, "Do you help with LGBTQ issues?" and then asked me to leave the room. I had concerns, but I did it because I didn't want to be perceived as imposing on my daughter's therapy. At this time, Ellie didn't know much at all about transgenderism and various issues related to that. After the meeting with Dr. Sager, Maya began identifying as transgender. Around the same time, Maya told her parents she had joined an LGBTQ Discord server where she felt accepted. I did not suspect anything I wanted her to be happy so badly. It had been so long since she was happy. So when I would walk by her bedroom and hear her laughing and playing games with her online friends, I was so happy for her. I thought maybe she had finally found her friends and could have some peace. But Maya's behaviour became more and more concerning around this time. It was obvious that this Discord group was feeding her information and affecting the way she perceived life. One day she said, "Mama, did you know in California, there are laws that if you don't affirm a trans child, they can come and take the child from you?" I instantly felt frozen. I replied, "No, honey, I didn't know that." And then she said, "Well, I stand right with you guys right now." But it was like a black cloud was hovering over our heads from that moment. A cold feeling. She began spending more and more time in her room on this Discord server, and she became more and more isolated from the rest of the family. She spent most of 2023 doing this. And 2024 is when things escalated in a way the family never saw coming, and in a way the family have yet to recover from. At the age of 14, Maya began demanding access to cross-sex hormones. She even said that she wanted a hysterectomy. Her parents told her that she has to wait until she's 18, and this seemed to enrage Maya. It was as if she began plotting how she could get away from her family, so she could be free to pursue her trans identity with no restrictions. Not knowing this doctor's motive at the time, Ellie, the mother, contacted Dr. Sager. She was desperate for help and she trusted this woman. She said, "It sounds like you guys need a good family therapist. I'm taking it upon myself to find you a good family therapist." And I trusted her. I trusted her to help us. I thought she was on our side. But at this time, Dr. Sager had already decided that Maya's family were abusive for not supporting their daughter's request for cross-sex hormones and surgery. At the age of 14, Maya even wanted to be placed in foster care and believed that once this happened, she could do whatever she wanted to do. And just 2 days later, she would get her wish. After the visit from the social worker, she only went away because Maya's dad intervened. But she promised them that she would be back. And she certainly came back with a bang. She returned with 8 police officers demanding that the daughter leave with them. After the initial visit from the social worker, Ellie went into Maya's room demanding answers. She even asked her if it was Dr. Sager who had put her up to this. She started screaming and swearing and told me to get the F out of her room. I left back to where my husband was, still talking to the caseworker. He again demanded any proof from her. A court order, a copy of the report, anything. She said, "I don't have to have that." So he told her that because she had provided no evidence that she was who she said she was not allowed to speak with my daughter. He told her to leave. Even when the caseworker turned around and left, the daughter followed after her, ran after her, running down the street barefoot, begging this woman to take her. You would think that she was being abused, the way she was so desperate to leave that house. But could it be because of the seeds that were sown by these professionals, by the people telling her that her family were the enemy because they didn't want her to have surgery and cross-sex hormones at the age of 14? She did end up leaving with the social worker when the police arrived. My daughter had left everything in her room, all of her stuff, her laptop even. She had taken nothing with her, so focused on running away with the caseworker. So Ellie went through her computer to see who she'd been chatting to online. I could see the Discord chat up. She had been communicating with another user up until the moment she left. Ellie even said that one Discord user had advised her daughter on the steps she could take to get removed from the family's custody, to get removed from the house. Ellie said she was being instructed on how to better file emotional abuse claims, how to be removed from the home, how to dig a grave for your parents. Me and my husband were so emotional seeing that. I completely broke down. I said to the officers, "Okay, fine. She wants to go this badly. Take her. Take her away. I will regret those words forever." And she said that her family were put through hell from that moment on. She was reading certain case reports about her family. There was accusations that they made their daughter live in the shed. This is a ranch, an expansive ranch, and there are living quarters towards the back of the house that they jokingly refer to as the shed. Take a look at these living quarters, this outhouse. It is a house of luxury. It is not a shed. It has its own kitchen, its own bathroom, its own living room, its own bedroom, beautifully furnished. The shed, cited in the child welfare report provided by the family. The parents are now on some kind of register, marked down as child abusers. They have done everything they can to get this removed. Even a judge has certified that there's no evidence of this. But their names remain on the register simply because of an accusation of emotional abuse. And apparently, not allowing your child to have cross-sex hormones at the age of 14, not agreeing for them to have surgeries such as hysterectomies, or not supporting that idea, is emotional abuse in the state of California. And one could have their child taken away because of that and put on a register with all sorts of implications that come with that. There have been no charges and certainly no convictions. They are listed on CACI. All decision-making authority has been removed from the parents, and their daughter, Maya, is now in the hands of the state. We are now registered child abusers, and we have been unable to file a grievance against this. I have no idea how long it lasts, or if it can ever be removed at all. Unfortunately, their daughter has since been put on medications, including the pill. Ellie says they only became aware that their daughter was being prescribed medication after it was billed to their insurance, demonstrating that their daughter was taking the antidepressant Drastic and had also been prescribed birth control pills. Ellie has expressed concern about this, noting that their daughter had not been sexually active prior to entering state care, and that her daughter was being housed in the same room as a teenage boy because she identified as male. The family filed a federal lawsuit at the end of last year. According to documents from this case, the judge proceeding over the custody hearings had noted that Ellie and her husband had provided Maya with exceptional care, and that no evidence suggests that the parents intentionally harmed the child. Despite this, Maya remains in the custody of the state, and Ellie and her husband are marked down as being child abusers. Ellie says that she is worried that the federal case will be dismissed due to a lack of representation. The family are having difficulty finding a lawyer. My daughter is 17 now. She is going to age out of care and custody, and we would have never had a resolution. Someone needs to hold Shasta County and the state of California to account for what they've done to my family, to my daughter. I will always be waiting for you to come back. And it's not just blue states. A father in Montana lost custody of his daughter simply because he did not consent to having her put on puberty blockers.
Parents should not be bad to the medical establishment and as well as government entities. And I'm really concerned about that. And my heart feels for this family at this time.
Crow sponsored Montana House Bill 676, a bill awarding the protection of parental rights.
The law says that parents have the right to guide their children's medical care. And they also have the right to direct the upbringing of the child and to direct the moral or religious training of the child. And that's what we need to remember. And that is a true Montana value.
Democratic lawmaker and transgender woman Zoe Zephyr disagrees this is a case about parental rights.
You have the state stepping in for immediate needs to keep a child alive moment to moment. That is what is trying to be done here.
When reviewing the documents, the Kolstads were issued a final court order to vacate their case. Now the state, they wanted out, ordering the child to Canada in the custody of their birth mother. Look at why. Contempt by the father and stepmother is undeniable, adding a hearing would most likely bring further negative attention to the youth. Deborah Cattell is a professor at University of Providence. She's interpreted law and policy for me.
To be a family unit, it takes respecting the child. and that means not speaking publicly so that the child isn't admonished or embarrassed or bullied.
For parents who have been there the entire way, the fight for other families continues.
We have to keep talking because we have to protect other families from this happening to them.
Exactly, exactly.
Very, very scary, very, very disturbing. All of the doctors involved in this, all of the caseworkers involved in this, even the police, they all need to be held accountable. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.